Weird Connection 3. In Exeter, England, Dr. Jakob Ulai says a powerful magnetic force can temporarily block the back part of the brain where conscious vision is processed, unlocking a more primitive way of visual processing called unconscious vision. Like Professor Matsuzawa, Professor Ulai believes that our brain has evolved so that basic functions like unconscious vision have been replaced by higher functions.
Subconscious vision is playing a smaller and smaller role over evolution. So what your conscious visual system can do is quite amazing, and if you compare it with how crude the subconscious visual system is, well, your conscious visual system is simply a lot more accurate. It's slower, but it's more accurate.
Our unconscious visual system is a relic of our prehistoric past. Without realizing we've seen a thing, we can pick up danger signals, changes in light, motion, even emotional cues from humans and other animals.
Imagine you're walking in a jungle and there's a tiger coming at you. Well, if you have to rely on conscious vision, it takes up to maybe 200 milliseconds before you see the tiger. Well, by that time you're probably already, well, if not eaten, certainly bitten. Subconscious vision is a lot faster. You can be running away within about 50 milliseconds from the tiger.
Would you ever volunteer for this? Test subjects are going to lose their sight for a few split seconds because of a strong magnetic pulse. It's called transcranial magnetic stimulation. Ulai claims it is harmless. Without normal sight, experiments can be done on the more primitive form of vision still hidden deep in our brain.
Well, the aim of this experiment was to study how subconscious vision contributes to behavior in normal participants.
Brave Hannah put herself in the hands of science.
You're now going to position this magnet to the back of your head.
She sat in front of a computer screen with the large sight zapper pointed straight at the back of her head.
Okay?
That was fine.
Brilliant. Now we're ready to start the experiment.
4 faces flashed up on the screen at the same time. 3 were neutral faces, but the 4th was either happy or sad. They would only be on the screen for a split second. Blink and you'll miss it. Hannah was then instructed to identify whether one of the faces was happy or sad and point to the place where it had been. As the stimulator shorted out her sight, Hannah pressed on.
It's just like someone's flicking the back of your head, really.
She said she could barely notice the split-second blindness of the magnetic pulse. But during that time, the faces appeared on the screen. Hannah saw a blank screen, but her primitive unconscious sight was hard at work, registering the faces without her knowledge. When the test was over, Hannah seemed fine, and the results were conclusive. Hannah and the other subjects were able to recall the correct emotion of the little faces, even though they didn't think they could actually see them.
It's very fast, you can't really tell consciously what the emotion was, but you're normally left with some sort of sense of whether it was happy or sad.
When the participants were able to see the stimulus, they were correct about 70–75% of the time. When we used the magnet, they couldn't see the stimulus anymore, but still they were able to give the correct answer 70–75% of the time. So even though they couldn't see it, they were, well, just as good as when they could see the emotion.
Unconscious vision holds remarkable promise for the untapped resources of the human mind. Scientists had long suspected that humans might have access to an alternative, more basic form of vision.
Shortly after the First World War, there were first reports of soldiers who had damage to the back part of their brains, the occipital lobe, who could not consciously see things, but nevertheless were able to guess where something was or where a light came on. Well, in the late 1970s, there was a structural investigation into this. It's something that's not really uncommon in patients who have brain damage in the back part of their heads in the occipital lobe. You find that these patients report that they can't see a thing, but nevertheless, if you show them, for example, a light turning on, they are able to say that something happened.
It's only using today's cutting-edge technology, transcranial magnetic stimulation, that science has been able to confirm that there really is more to sight than meets the eye. Here's how it works. If your vision is not impaired, information from the optic nerve transmits to the back of your brain for high-level processing we call sight. When the powerful magnet shorts out the back brain functions, the parallel primitive vision pathways take over. They bypass the zapped part and take messages straight to the part of the brain that decodes danger and emotion. So, like the chimps, we still have our primitive vision and memory skills deep inside. We just need high-tech methods to get at them. Get ready for weird connection number 4. You too can